So there are several barriers. And what's really interesting is that in medical school, there is actually an equal number of men and women. In fact, there are slightly more women, but not many women or students that belong to groups that are underrepresented in medicine choose radiology as a specialty. So we have to ask ourselves, why is that? Again, there are several reasons, but a major one is the lack of women and minority faculty role models. If you look around, radiology is dominated by white men. What's interesting is that residency programs who have a woman as a program director have a greater number of women residents. So having women and minority faculty in leadership positions also attracts more women and minority faculty. But there are still barriers for women and minorities to advance to leadership positions with lack of access to important informal networks. And then again, still various types of gender biases and stereotyping if it comes to leadership. Another really important part is the perception of the work environment and the feeling of belonging, which is reflected in your compensation, but also career development opportunities and respect. Actually, a couple of years ago, the ACR did a survey which showed that women and radiologists belonging to underrepresented groups experienced more frequently unfair and disrespectful treatment in the workplace. So again, I would say early exposure to radiology and developing our pipeline. As we discussed, exposing students to radiology early during medical school improves their interest in radiology as a career, and early exposure to women and minority radiology faculty is really important so that prospective applicants can be exposed to potential role models. And I also want to emphasize career development opportunities and leadership training for women and minority faculty, so we can get more women into higher positions. And I want to give a shout out to the LEAD program, which is a one-year leadership program organized by SCARD and GE for future women leaders in radiology and GE. And also mentorship and especially sponsorship are really critical to advance everyone's career, but especially it's important for women and minorities. And I want to specifically highlight the importance of sponsorship. People often say that women are over-mentored, but under-sponsored. You need a sponsor who talks about you when you're not in the room, someone who nominates you for awards or for leadership positions. And it's also important to create an inclusive work environment where people treat each other with respect and which allows for flexibility, for example, the option to work part-time or remote. And if the COVID pandemic has taught us one thing, it has taught us to be creative and accommodating so we can retain our talented women and minority radiologists. One thing we can all do is be an ally to women and those underrepresented in medicine. And here is a very practical assignment, which was introduced by JP Morgan, the 35-1 pledge. Men and women leaders commit to spending 30 minutes a week with an up-and-coming woman or a minority employee as a mentor. 5 minutes complimenting the person on a recent success, and then spend 1 minute mentioning that success to another colleague. That is, again, having someone to speak about you when you're not in the room. And then speak up if you hear a sexist or a racist comments. Say something. You don't have to have the perfect answer. A good way is to just say, ouch, if you hear something inappropriate. So you don't have to really think in your head, what am I going to say? But just by saying that certain comments are not okay, sends an important message.